Hey, this is Eli, aka Devoted Day Trader. On this weekly review, I'm going to talk about my 75% accuracy by concentrating on traders who are trapped. I'm still sticking to my monthly challenge of taking only one trade per day and sticking to a 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Today's Friday the 21st. Today I traded DBX, which was a winner. This week I traded, Monday was President's Day, so that was a holiday. On Tuesday I traded ROKU, which resulted in a 1-hour loss. Wednesday I traded AMD, which was a winner. On Thursday I traded MS Morgan Stanley, which was a winner. Today I traded DBX, which was a winner, and all those trades have one thing in common: there were trapped traders, and I took the other side. So let's get to the trade. So we'll start with DBX. DBX is the stock that I traded today. It was moving in pre-market because it beat its quarterly earning. So although nowadays I don't have a bias about which way a stock is going to move, the fact that a stock has news, it brings it to my attention because I know that it's going to be traded heavily. There's going to be volume, which means it's going to be liquid, and I could get in and out from a position. So DBX, I was watching it. I waited until around now. I have it's not a hard rule, but I usually don't start trading until 10 a.m. So a lot of my trades from now on, this entire week, they were after 10 a.m. For the most part, so I let the first half hour just go on, let people take each other out, let people get frustrated, and then I jump in. So DBX, this on DBX, it gapped up huge on the daily chart. I believe the stock was up like 20% or so, and in the open we had a bullish bar with a tail, but the tail is okay considering how big the gap is. And what I saw was a double bottom pullback. In addition to that, I saw that shorts were trapped. So we made a new low right here. So the third bar made a new low. So this is a low one. And then we consolidated, and then we made a second low right here, a new 5-minute low right here. So this is a low 2. And I expected this low 2 to fail. We have this double bottom here, which coincided with low of day. We have now trap traders, people who shorted here. I mean, the smart ones, the smart bears actually took their profit here, but we had more shorting here because of the short entry triggered. So once I saw that this bar did not close on its low and there is a tail and the following bar was a bull bar, now the people that went short here are trapped. So I went long at 22.38. My stop was tight. I put my stop actually instead of so this line is pre-market high. And instead of putting my stop here, I actually put my stop at 22.15 right before the open of this bar, because if bulls are clearly in control and the bears are trapped, the bulls are not gonna let this come down and test this level. I mean, they can, but if they did that, my premise for being in the trade is no longer valid, because it means that the bears are strong enough to push it down again. But since I concluded that the bears were trapped, they're not gonna push it down past the open of this bullish bar. So I went long with a stop right here, a hard stop. And the reason why I kept a tight stop was because I'm trying to reach my 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and it did. Yeah, so I reached my profit target. So I made 3 times what I was risking. This bar was actually scary. But I stuck with the plan and it worked out, and I literally got filled at the high, close to the high of this rally, because the high of day was 23.73. So I knew that, or most likely I knew that it was, when I placed a trade, that the momentum was up to at least test high of day, and if it doesn't get close to high of day, it will at least make a lower high. So this was a trade on DBox. Very proud of it. So on now we are gonna go back to the beginning of the week. So on Monday, Monday was President's Day, so I didn't place any trades that day. But on Tuesday, I traded. So yeah, I traded Roku on Tuesday, and yeah, it's unfortunate because this one, it did give me about 2 hours. So so I risk 1% of my account per trade, and it gave me 2% of my account, but it did not reach my target, and it resulted in being a loser. So on Roku, it sold off heavily in the open. We had the 200 moving average on the daily chart, so I thought that it could potentially sell off to the 200 moving average, and I went short here with a stop. I didn't give it to, so my stop was the whole number of 127. I believe I went short at 126.36, hoping for the price to drop, and my stop was at 127. I figured that if it got above 127, my premise was wrong, and I kept a tight stop, and it did go in my direction. It gave me close to twice of what I was risking, but it popped up and I was stopped out. It comes with territory, but I actually made a note to myself, because not to take trades or not to place a short when it's way extended from the 20 moving average, because most likely it's going to try to test it. So it could try testing the 20 moving average at any time. So if I had placed the short here, it would have been, or if I had seen this materialize, so this was in this pullback, this was a new 5-minute low right here, and if I had seen this in time, I could have went short here with a stop here, and I could have easily reached my target. But hey, you can't win them all. On Wednesday, I traded AMD. AMD was a winner as well. So this was on Wednesday, which resulted in reaching my 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And AMD is actually the same play as DBox. I'm gonna zoom in. So on the daily chart, AMD is on an uptrend, and what I liked about AMD was we made we started off very bearish, but we did gap up. But the attempt to sell off was reversed by the second bar. By the fourth bar, we had the what I call the low one. Some may call this the the first low, but I don't start counting 5-minute new lows until until there's a pullback. So this is a pullback from this sell-off. So we made a new 5-minute low right here. So this is the low one, but this one failed. So the people that went short here, seeing these two topping tails, the new 5-minute low, these people thought they were about to win, but they were in for a surprise because the bulls showed up and squeezed them. And then they made the bears made a second attempt to go short. So this bar right here made a low too. This is the second attempt to go low. The second attempt to go low, but they didn't make much progress. The bulls stepped up. That's why we have a bottoming tail here, a bottoming tail here. So this low too, it pretty much failed. Unless the bears who went short looking for a small scalp, they got their scalp. But those who were looking for a bigger move down, those shorts are now trapped. So the bears made a third attempt to push it down, but again the bulls stepped up and they failed. Once I saw that, I went long, I believe at 58.19, and my stop was the break of 58, the whole number, which acts as support or resistance. In addition, the pre-market high was here at 58, so I believe I put my stop at 57.99, just in case it came back to test 58. I didn't want to get stopped out, and it went in my favor. It popped. I reached my target here. It did pull back here. This was kind of concerning. I thought I was gonna get stopped out, but again, I stuck with the plan. We either get stopped out, or we hit our target, except in rare cases where I'm willing to go break even if it gets very close to my 3-1 target and then it reverses and it's a clear reversal. But in this case, this sell-off was just a pullback and it reached my target. So the shorts who went short here, who went short here, they were trapped and they had no choice but to cover, and that sent the price rocketing. So that was AMD. Last trade of the week in this recap was Thursday, Morgan Stanley MS, which was also a winner. It gave you my 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and Morgan Stanley was moving because it is acquiring E-Trade, and usually the company that is doing the acquiring, their price tends to drop, and the company that is being acquired, their price goes higher. So E-Trade, I believe it gapped up and Morgan Stanley gapped down. But again, I waited until around 10 a.m. to place my trade. So on the daily chart, we were actually consolidating here, but then we gapped down. So this was also the same play as AMD, the same play as D-Box today. traders were trapped, shorts were trapped. So the same concept. The stock made a new 5-minute low right here. So this is my low one. It made a new 5-minute low. This is my low one. And then it made a low 2. This is the second attempt to push the price down. So a lot of shorts or a lot of bears went short here, especially seeing these topping tails. They went short here. I even contemplated going short if this bar had closed on its low. But the fact that this bar did not close on its low and it actually bounced and left a bottoming tail, I knew that the bears who went short are now in trouble. And then the following bar was a bull bar with a high above this high. So the shorts that went short here and here are now clearly trapped. So I went long, I believe at 54.14. So I bought right here with my stop was the low of this bar, which coincided with the whole number of 54. So I actually put my stop, my hard stop at 53.99 just in case 54 gets tested. But it didn't. It just shot up. It pulled back. This is expected, especially when you're expecting a 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio. You have to allow for pullbacks. You can't get scared with these pullbacks. It pulled back and then it shot up, and I got filled at 54.59, and yeah, and then after that it did go higher, but hey, I reached my target. So these were the trades today on the AMD trade. Actually, let me go back to the AMD trade. On there are 2 sell orders here. That's because I had considering that my stop was kind of tight, I did have a decent number of shares, and I guess it broke my sell order to 2, but I sold at 58.84. So these were the trades today. Very happy with the way the week turned out. My winning percentage this week was 75% because I had 3 winners, just 1 loser, and there was no trading on Monday because it was a holiday. And yeah, I'm liking placing only 1 trade per day, being patient, waiting until 10 a.m. So let people take each other out in the first 30 minutes, let people get trapped, and then look for more traders who are trapped, and then pull the trigger. So this looks like it's working, and the beauty with just replacing 1 trade is that I have the entire day to do whatever I want to do. I don't have to be stuck to the screen, and it's scalable. So because my parameters are now set. I mean, right now I'm risking only 1%, so my 1R is 1%, my reward is 3%. At the end of this month, or maybe the following month, if my winning percentage is above 50% for the month, I may potentially increase my risk to 2%, and that would put my reward at 6%. So the same ratio. So instead of 1%, I'm going to risk 2%. Not this month, potentially next month or the month after that, because I have to scale. But yeah, I'm not gonna risk more than 2% though per trade. So 2% is the maximum that I'm going to be willing to risk per trade. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below, and I will see you guys next Friday. Peace.